So I think so often we get managers mixed up with leaders. That leadership isn't about a title, and managers. Just because you're a manager doesn't mean you're a leader. And I'm going to kind of quote or paraphrase, Simon Sinek. I'm listening and watching some of his videos, his TED talks, interviews, him on stage, and so what I'm telling you is not it is part of what I believe, or actually it is what I believe, but I think he frames it up in a way that is just so relatable. Um, that when you do a job, when you're young, you're in an organization or new to a role, and you do a job well, then you get promoted. And when you get promoted, now you are in charge of the people who used to do your job, technically speaking, right? And it's not your job any longer to do the job that you used to do because you were given an opportunity to lead the folks that used to do your job. So you are no longer responsible for actually doing the job. Now you are responsible for the people that did your job, if that makes sense, right? So and of course, you know more about the job than the person you've just hired to do the job because you did it. In fact, you did it so well, you were promoted to do that job. And being responsible for the person or people that used to do your job is not actually doing the job. It's supporting them. It's guiding them. It's teaching them to do your job. And a huge part of that is you are now responsible for the environment in which they function to do the job. And that environment is uh, about teaching, guiding, coaching, creating a safe space for them to do the job. It's really being responsible for the environment, right? As a leader or a manager, you are responsible for the environment in which the people you lead, the people you coach, the people you direct to do their job. And if that environment is healthy, then it allows the people that you are leading to learn. If it's chaotic, then it creates discomfort, it creates confusion, it creates anxiety, it creates stress, and it's difficult for the people that you're leading to do the job because it is a high pressure situation. It's your job to make them feel comfortable, feel supported, feel trusted to do that job. And when you do it from a place of kindness, creating that environment, supporting that nurturing environment, then you have positive results. And typically in a corporate situation or corporate setting, we measure results with metrics. And it's easy to say, we need you to do these things, and this is what you need to do to get there. And you can measure by the metrics of the actions taken for the person in the job, right? And so when I talk about leading with kindness, heart-centered leadership, leading with love, how do you measure that? It doesn't happen overnight. And again, this is stuff that I believe, stuff that I embrace, stuff that I value. And going back to Simon Sinek, he talks about that you can't measure leading with kindness, leading with love by in the short term. You can't measure that in the short term. It is a long-term gain. It's like going to the gym, right? when you can't go to the gym, work out one time and expect everything to be different, expect to be in shape, expect to be healthier, expect to be fit. It's consistency. It's every day. And maybe it's 20, 30, 45 minutes, maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 2 hours, but you have to put in the work every day in order to start to see results from being at the gym. And he says this, when you talk about measuring the metrics of leading with love, leading with kindness, if 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 I ask you, do you love your wife? Do you love your husband? The answer is yes. Okay, well, prove it. Where are the metrics that prove that you love your spouse? Show me the numbers. That is very difficult, if possible at all, to do, right? And he says that when you met your wife or husband, you did not love them. You met them, you spent time with them, you held the door for them, you ask them how their day is, you you get up to go get yourself a drink and you're bringing them one back, right? It's the small things over time, done through authenticity, done through being human, that allowed this love to build. And you cared for that person, you treated them with kindness, treated them with respect. And it's not all roses and peaches and cream all the time, right? You get in fights, you get in arguments, but at the end of the day, you will stand with them and fight with them on the same side, right? You will protect with them. You will protect them. You will stand up for them. And that's kind of leading with love, leading with kindness, humankind leadership. That's what it's about. It's about doing the little things every day to create the space that is safe, feel trusted, to be a to have empathy, to have perspective, to allow them to share their ideas, because that's how we get better. That's what inclusion is about. That's what is diversity. That's what diversity is about. It's about bringing people together who have a same goal in mind, working for towards the same objective, and respecting one another to be vulnerable, to make mistakes, to give each other grace, because at the end of the day, you support one another in that journey to the goal. And when you do that, then the people that you work with love their job. They want to come to work because they love the environment that they have at work. They love the support, the interaction. They love growing. They love accomplishing things. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I, I want to go to work because I hate it. Nobody wakes up today and says, I hope today is terrible. We don't want, listen, I don't want people to come to work if they do not want to be there. That is the honest truth, right? All of this. If you don't want to be at your job, then why do you go? It is imperative, it is critical as a leader to create a place that people want to come to work, people want to be a part of, people feel respected, feel safe, feel trusted, all of that stuff. That's what we talk about with emotional intelligence. I mean, there's all these in heart-centered leadership, there's all these buzzwords, all these things that people talk about, but do you actually embrace it? And it's so much that it's kind of a two-part deal. It's treating people with kindness, but then also the environment, creating the structure, creating the space that allows them to invest their energy, their time into things in such a way that it's impactful and meaningful. and not just to go check a box. Like when people are invested in their jobs, then the outcome is significant for the long term. Nothing meaningful is a quick fix. It just doesn't work that way. So, if you want positive results, if you want your team to come together, be collaborative, work together, then make the environment more human. Make the environment a place that people want to show up and want to come to. It's about humankind, human relationships, human interaction. Looking at somebody, asking them how their day was or how their day went, or about a loved one, or how their weekend was, and really wanting to hear the answer because you care about them. When you can do those things, then that's when your team comes together. And it's amazing, absolutely amazing. So, so if you're a leader, here's the challenge. Think about the environment that you want. Think about how you want to have purpose. You want to have someone that provides a vision. You want a place that you feel trusted. You feel safe, a culture that is vulnerable, where you can show up and be yourself. And then you take that feeling and you project it towards the people that you lead. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Thank you for pressing the play button. I appreciate you. Own your space because you are a leader of people who are counting on you. Make the workplace more human. Be blessed, my friends.